Hello?
Sounds good. All right. Audio test.
Hello? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, our sound tests alive are a success. We're going to go muted now.
Oh, we're live?
Yeah, go ahead and mute yourself. Man, those dancing pug. Oh, there we go. Man, those dancing pugs look so good with this song.
Hey, you didn't even want to put them on. I forced you to.
I just didn't know if people would want to use them. Yeah, it's like perfect for this song. Okay, anyway, let's get started. Hello, hello. I'm joined here tonight with Reika on mic. And we're going to be playing some more The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. We're dealing with Mr. McGilded. We got to try to save his rich ass from the clink, or whatever they call it over there in... What do they call it in England? Probably something ridiculous. Like the Barzy Warzy house or something like that. Anyway.
Rude.
Anyway, have you seen that meme with all the different, like the fake translations to British English? It's so funny. I'll try to pull that up sometime. Anyway, we got to get into this game, guys. Hope you guys are doing well tonight. I'm doing pretty well myself. I'm all well rested. Wanted to stream last night, but I was just too tired, so I took some sleep medicine, and I was out early, but I'm feeling pretty good tonight. I got myself a strawberry smoothie made by my lovely wife. Don't you wish you had one of these? A lovely wife? I mean, the smoothie's not bad either. Oh my gosh. Also, as you can hear...
Good as pina coladas, though.
As you can hear, the dogs are having a good night as well.
Not an Aqua stream without barking dogs.
Alright, let's continue. Man, they're going crazy. Sineal was gone all day, so... And Daniel doesn't play when Sineal's gone. Oh yeah, I forgot we were in the middle of some shit going on here.
Mirror of blood.
Okay, hold on just a moment. Let me go real quick before we start. Let me just go see if I can give a little bit of calmness to these doggies.
Anyway, Cody Cat, let us know if there's anything going on the stream you're in. Since I won't be paying attention too much. Alright. Good to know. Yeah. We should have him give us a recap.
Okay, the recap is that we found out that the roof, the skylight in the roof of the carriage can open, but only from the outside.
You're muted.
I should not be muted.
Oh,
what?
sorry. I was reading that too quickly. You're not. Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, that's fine. It's just while
I read too quickly.
It's while I'm moving this, it can like bump the thing and stuff.
I was reading it too quickly.
Anyway, as I was saying, we're representing Mr. McGilded, who is on trial for murder of a Mr. Mason, but it turns out that he's innocent, which is good for us because we're defending him, although we should defend him even if he's not innocent because everybody needs a defense attorney. Anyway, regardless, we found out that the roof, the skylight in the roof of the carriage opens up, but only from the outside. You can't open it from the inside. And we found blood on the edge of the skylight where it would normally be in a closed position. So at some point somebody had to open that and then got blood on it.
Oh yeah, I called it.
Yes, Reika did in fact guess that correctly.
Objection!
What? What are you talking about? And there you go, right there. Exhibit whatever letter we're on at this point. It's there for all to see, and it's clearly blood.
Objection!
I personally attended Scotland Yard's investigation of the Omnibus. Oops, wrong button. Z. The officers involved went over the carriage with a fine-toothed comb. so I can state with absolute surety. No such smear of blood existed in the carriage. At least, not until this trial began. But are you suggesting, Lord Van Zieks, that this stain of blood was fabricated, my lord? Yes. And while this court has been in session. What? What? That's Mr. McGilded. That would be the person that we are defending.
Yeah.
What a palaver. I must say, I didn't expect such crude reasoning from a prosecutor of your standing, Lord Van Zieks. But I'm Magnus McGilded, a fella known all over the capital for his fine contributions to public life. I don't take kindly to slander, and I'll fight it to the bitter end. Even if it's rolling off the tongue of the Reaper of the Bailey. Mr. McGilded, I realize that this is your first appearance in court as the accused. However, I am well aware of your involvement behind the scenes in a great many affairs of dubious nature. You're very apt when it comes to avoiding getting your own hands dirty. And each time it happens that a case you're involved in is investigated, you adapt the facts. Adapt the facts? What does that even mean? Here he goes again, boys.
How many of them is he gonna break?
When you wield a fortune the size of Mr. McGilded's, however ill-gotten it may be, nothing is impossible. Tampering with evidence, manipulating the scene of a crime, bribing witnesses. I toast your ability to concoct the most convenient of stories, sir. Tut tut, Lord Van Zieks, this will not do, to be sure. Will it now, counsel? Oh, no. I think it's fair to say, this does sound like a rather far-fetched excuse by a desperate man. The blood on the skylight didn't exist, you say? But if yous will all cast your minds back, is it not true that the omnibus there has been in the courtroom the entire time? How could anyone possibly have put a smear of blood in it without the word of his wife seeing? What, the word of his wife? Whatever it is I said. Isn't that right now, counsel? It's true. The omnibus has been in full view of the entire time that the court has been in session. My learned friend. Here's to hearing your opinion on this matter, in your own words. As you wish. Could someone have tampered with the omnibus during this trial? If you're asking me, I think... Okay, well, let me think back. Unfortunately, I think it might have been possible when we were all cleared out of the courtroom.
Well, remember, someone also went in there somehow and took all the stuff out.
That's true. That's true, yes. Because we saw the stuff in there and then that stuff was missing. Alright. It could have been possible. As a defense lawyer, it's my job to advocate for the defense as best as I can. But still, I feel as though there's something even more important at stake here. There is no evidence to suggest that the defendant did as my learned friend suggests. However, in terms of having the opportunity to carry out the alleged tampering, there is one possibility. You're up, babe. She's drinking a smoothie.
Oh!
Good gracious! Explain yourself, counsel. Yes, there is. It seems my learned Nipponese friend has no intention of running from this deceit. Deceit? I'm sure everyone still remembers clearly the recess that we were forced to take. As a result of the smoke grenade fired by the witness currently in the stand, Miss G... Did we say Gina? Yeah, I guess Gina. Gina Lestrade. Because Gina sounds weird. This is playback. We're not reading this. So as you can see, everyone got covered in smoke. The courtroom was filled with smoke, and everyone was thrown into confusion. All of us were made to leave this chamber. In that brief interval, under the veil of smoke and in all the chaos, it could have been possible to steal inside the omnibus. That was a very dramatic turn there. Are you wise? What are you trying to pull, you rotten, feckless gouger? Feckless? Gouger? You're supposed to be defending me. 'Tis a wicked plot. 'Tis a plot to undermine me, so it is. Whatever you think this is, it changes nothing. The facts are the same. After this courtroom was evacuated earlier as a result of the smoke grenade, a number of inconsistencies materialized in relation to the omnibus. Inconsistencies such as... To start with, the storage compartment under the rear passenger seat. When the police investigated the omnibus, this compartment was full of the driver's items. Secondly, we have the smear of blood on the edge of the skylight. As I have said, that was not present at the start of the trial this morning. Unfortunately, Lord Van Zeeks, no one is able to corroborate your claims. Sorry, I'm a little off on his voice. I'll get into it soon. That's true. When the omnibus was first wheeled out, both the storage compartment and the skylight were shut. Accordingly, I'm afraid to say, we cannot establish with any certainty if this evidence is the result of tampering or not. Indeed, my lord, no doubt there was not a single person who saw fit to verify such things.
What do you think?
Sorry?
About the omnibus. Is there anything else unusual about the omnibus? Oh.
I'm thinking here. Thinking. Anything else unusual about the omnibus? Besides the fact that it says Phoenix Wright on it?
What?
Yeah, I know. We don't need to read that. You say that every time we go inside.
I'm trying to remember, was that blood in the middle before there?
I don't think it was. I think we would have seen this blood. Because I remember thinking at the time, also it looks fresh compared to the blood on the left.
Yeah, that looks new.
I remember saying at the time, like, man, did we just not even look down at the floor? But actually looking at this now, like opening up this compartment, I would have seen this and remarked on it. So that's definitely it. Okay.
So someone is trying to trick us.
Someone's doing something. We can't exactly... Yes, I have an inkling. And I'm not playing... Fuck, what's it called? Never mind, I can't remember. What's the stupid game with the ink shooters and the squid people? Splatoon. There we go. I'm not playing Splatoon. My lord. Yes, counsel. There is one further inconsistency. A mark that surely could not have been present at the start of the trial. What? What in the devil's name are you going to say now? If you dare to betray me, you little maggot, you'd better be... Silence, Miss McGilded. The court awaits the defense's clarification. Grrr. This trial keeps swinging one way than the other. I have no idea what's the truth and what's deception. What am I supposed to believe here? I shall have to ask you to elaborate, counsel. Where exactly on this omnibus were you touched? Is the alleged mark that you claim appeared at some point during the trial? Wait a minute. Okay. I was like, can I not move this? Here we go.
Got it!
If we consider that the victim fell through the skylight onto the floor of the cabin, you would certainly expect to find signs of blood where he landed. But as far as I recall, this blood stain on the cabin floor was not there when the omnibus was first brought into the courtroom. Good Lord! Yes. Yes, I do believe you are correct, counsel. Well said. Although, as an advocate for the defense, one might say that was a very careless slip of the tongue. I believe that bloodstain on the floor is a decisive piece of evidence. But if the question is whether that evidence is genuine, or whether it was unlawfully fabricated by someone, I feel compelled to admit that there's at least a possibility that the evidence is fake. Yeah! This trial is over. Mr. McGilded? I've done everything I possibly can to cooperate with the court, but 'tis all over now. But you're the defendant. 'Tis over, I tell you. Oh, don't punch the wood with your rings, dude. Memory, recollection, what people think they saw, 'tis all a nonsense. Facts are what counts, and the fact is that bloodstain is there, now. Well... And over the course of this desperate trial, long and extremely drawn out as it has been, that good-for-nothing Reaper of the Bailey has failed to present any decisive evidence at all. I'm scandalized, so I am. I thought better of Lord Van Zix. Well, my lord? Dots, I must concur with the defendant. The unaffirmed recollections of an individual cannot stand as evidence. At this moment in time, the particular bloodstain in question is very much in existence. And in the absence of any credible method by which to prove its alleged previous non-existence, I regret to say that it would be improper for this trial to continue. Your lordship can't be serious. Lord Van Zix, what is your position? The prosecution, my lord, has no further witnesses or evidence to present. Very well. In that case, as I believe we have explored every possible avenue in this matter, I shall proceed to my adjudication. As a formality, I am of course obliged to confirm with the defense first. What formality?
Things stand at the moment, it would seem. that Mr. McGilded will be found not guilty.
Yes.
Which would mean we've won.
Is that really the right outcome here? Is it really all right for the trial to come to an end now, with all these unexplained inconsistencies?
Counsel for the defense, your closing statement, please.
Yes, my lord. The defense believes we have... Okay, well, now, at this point, we have to say he's innocent still. We can't lie about the bloodstains and the evidence, but we need to legally represent him. As Mr. McGilded's legal representative, I can't breathe. The air in here is stifling. But I'm this man's defense lawyer. There's only one thing I can say in this situation. I believe the defendant, Magnus McGilded, to be innocent of all of the allegations brought against him.
Thank you, counsel. Here's to you, my Nipponese friend,
And the most abject closing I have yet to hear in a court of law.
Order! Order!
Oh, it was a grand decision to appoint you as my lawyer, so it was a grand decision. You've saved one of London's most influential gentlemen, fella. You should be proud of yourself. Here, have this for your troubles. Ah, your job here is done, fella. And some fine work you've done, so you have. Well, what do you mean? 'Tis just as the right honorable gentleman so succinctly put it afore. The trial can't go on anymore. And your closing statement there was, how did he put it now? Nothing more than a formality.
I really don't know what to make of all this. Was the evidence we've seen genuine, or was it fake?
Babe. She's caught up in the story.
His lordship would be... How did her voice sound like?
I don't know.
Oh well. His lordship would be fuming and unsightly rubbish. It should be disposed of promptly, as I said. Click, 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 click.
The stinking rich are always guilty of something. You here, mark my words. I feel terribly ashamed that I never doubted that lovely man who gave us the lovely park.
Now,
Oh my gosh. Oh, these doggies.
now that the proceedings have unfolded in this way, I am compelled to declare a premature end to this trial. Furthermore, the court must accept the defendant's plea.
We make the right choice.
I thank you kindly, my lord. No, we absolutely did. I don't care how guilty he is or is not. It is not our job in the courtroom to figure out who is guilty. It is our job to give a defense for this guy. If he is guilty, then it's the prosecution's job to make that case, not ours.
Mm-hmm.
I hereby pronounce the verdict of this court.
Objection!
But But we still haven't determined the bloodstain in the omnibus is genuine or not. We don't know if these witnesses are telling the truth or a pack of lies. We have no idea about the truth.
Lord Van Zieks, my lord. The case made by the prosecution was flawed, plain and simple. If indeed the omnibus presented as evidence was tampered with, the prosecution is at fault for allowing such a disgraceful perversion of justice to take place. My sincerest apologies, my lord. But wait! When we were evacuated from the courtroom, Lord Van Zieks ordered the evidence to be secured. I'm afraid the prosecution cannot shun responsibility in this matter.
That's so unfair.
The culpability of the defendant has not, at the present time, been established by this court. Consequently, the jury will not be required to proffer judgment.
What? Well, Lord Van Zieks, it's been a pleasure, so it has. And as for you, my dear fella, I couldn't have asked for a better defense.
Do you mean to tell me that this has all been a grand waste of time?
'Tis the law of the land, my good man. If you'd like to pursue this matter further, you can always go ahead and try to change the law.
Magnus McGilded.
Good grief, you've more to say to me, have you?
Just one thing, a warning. This is far from over.
Well, something to be looking forward to then.
Oh, what a crooked man.
I hereby pronounce the defendant, Mr. Magnus McGilded, not guilty.
Who? Someone stop that girl! She's setting off more smoke grenades! I can't believe it. This is an outrage. They should have examined the evidence more. What are you talking about? The man's been cleared. He's innocent. Cody Cat, welcome to the legal system.
Yeah.
Satisfactory.
Yeah,
I'll help you out there.
ending.
With the courtroom in pandemonium for the second time that day, the judge delivered his verdict. And my first ever trial in Great Britain came to an abrupt end, with the defendant being found not guilty, ostensibly a victory for us.
Even though it doesn't feel like a victory.
Oh, it feels like a victory to me. (18th of February, 5:14 p.m. The Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber. Real quick, I do want to mention, because I'd been wanting to bring this up because I kept forgetting, and I didn't want to forget again, but as part of like the Masonic family and everything, my father knows, he has a lot of acquaintances like all over the country, and a lot of people kind of in interesting...
Many people.
Yeah. Like, in one person he was talking about specifically, and this is, my dad was talking, I don't remember exactly why we were talking about it, but we were talking about law and the courts and stuff, and my dad mentioned that he actually knows a high-profile defense attorney who specifically takes cases wherein, like, he takes very large public cases wherein there's basically no, not confusion, but there's everybody knows the person's guilty. and he takes these defense cases and does the defense for the people. Specifically, he mentioned a few high-profile cases that this guy had defended, but the one specifically that sticks out of my mind was actually the Boston Marathon bombers, the two brothers. I think maybe one of them got shot, but I don't think any of them died during that whole incident. Regardless, my dad actually knows the defense attorney who defended them. Yeah, no, for real. Yeah. But the thing is the reason why I bring this up is because it is actually a thing where as long as somebody goes to court, there needs to be a proper defense fighting for that side. Otherwise, the whole justice system just falls apart. And like, you can think about some famous, really, really fucking bad people, you know, but like, even in like, but I mean, just like, unless they have to be taken down in, you know, while being arrested or they're an active threat, all that stuff. But if they get arrested and they go to court, they need to have the best defense that they can have. Everybody deserves the best defense they can get. Because it's not just a matter also of guilt or innocence. It's also what somebody deserves for their sentencing. It's also what specific crimes on the list that they're charged with should they be charged with, and other ones maybe they shouldn't be. It doesn't matter, no matter how guilty someone is, if they're in court, they deserve their defense. And that's just period. And there's a lot of people who don't really understand that concept, who can't get past it. And I just think it's really interesting, you know, that there are people out there who willingly go in to defend even the most heinous criminals, who even admit themselves to doing these crimes. And that's just how it is. Everybody likes to think, oh yeah, you're the defense attorney, so you're trying to help keep innocent people from being charged. No. If you're a defense attorney, whoever it is you're defending, that's what you got to do, is defend them. Period. You can't lie in court. But even if the person you're defending comes right out and tells you that they are guilty and they did do it, you still got to give them their defense. It's just how it is.
That certainly was a long trial.
Yeah, that was like, what, 4 or 5 streams worth? Yes, it was.
Your first ever trial on foreign soil, and your first victory. It was a wonderful performance. Now, my heartfelt congratulations.
And to you, Mrs. Sato, thank you for your assistance. I suppose we should be happy. Trouble is, we're still completely in the dark about what actually happened.
Well, we didn't have enough time.
But isn't it wrong? I mean, who was actually responsible for Mr. Mason's death? We don't even know that.
The sole aim of the defense is to obtain a verdict that exonerates the defendant. You carried out your duty to perfection.
Aye, that you did. Mr. McGilded. Ah, and that girl is with him too. Well, it seems the stories are true. Oh, what stories? About the 6 enormous fireworks they do be letting off when there's a verdict of not guilty. I'm sure you must have seen them by now. Spectacular, wouldn't you say? Yes, definitely. Okay, so that's not just fanfare, like that's canon. They actually launched fireworks in the courtroom. I heard it was a sight to behold, and to be sure it was. And I've you to thank, I suppose, for having an opportunity to see it. Oh, I don't know about that. I'm not sure I really did anything. What on earth are you saying, fella? How did I walk out of that a free man then? I don't think it was so much thanks to me as down to your planning. You're a straight-talking fella, aren't you? I must say, you had me astray in the head there for once or twice. But you're young and headstrong. Oh, 'tis water under the bridge.
Congratulations, Mr. McGilded, on having your name cleared.
But nothing's resolved. There is only one thing that matters to me. Oh? Aye. They've all seen that I didn't do that odious and obstinate deed. 'Tis grand, is it not? I suppose it is. Now, the fine fellows of Scotland Yard can take matters in hand and sort out any wee details. They'll see it for what it is. They'll get to the truth. I've absolute faith in them, so I have. After all, I do be providing a good number of their wages with all the taxes I pay. It's not that funny. So then, as we agreed aforehand, 1,000 guineas for your troubles, fella. Oh, no, I couldn't possibly accept that much. What the fuck am I saying? Yes, take the money, you stupid. I'd be west, or west. I don't even know what that to pronounce that. You're a humble people, are you? From the east. Well, if you insist, no. But have this still and all. You deserve a reward.
Mr. Magnus McGilded. Or Mr. Magnus McGilded. Everything is ready, sir. If you'd like to follow me into the courtroom.
Into the courtroom? What's this, officer? 'Tis sooner than I was led to believe.
I hope it's not inconvenient, sir. There were some changes to the schedule.
Well, I must be making tracks now. 'Tis time for the inspection. Sorry, what inspection? They're going to examine the Omnibus again, so I'm told. I asked if I could be present for it myself.
They're going to examine it again? Now?
Naturally. I'm under no obligation to take part in any more of this matter now. But as an upstanding member of London society, I do be doing my best to help where I can. 'Tis a gentleman's duty, so it is. So then, fare thee well. 'Twas an absolute pleasure meeting yous. I hope you have a whale of a time while you're studying here in Great Britain.
Why don't you take the money?
I know, 1,000 guineas, come on! And there he goes, a free man. Fucking absurd. We're getting into the legal system. We should be making money. Oh, I forgot she was here too. Uh-oh. She's armed. She's going for it, boys. That's you.
Don't move.
Whereas I want to say, get a move on. She really does take forever to load that thing. Miss Lestrade, would you mind putting that thing down?
You're a grown-up.
Sorry.
And I ate all grown-ups.
Oh shit, boys. She's a cannibal. Unknown voice.
Oh, there you are!
Okay, definitely not that voice.
What the fuck? Naughty. Running out like that.
Is this some kind of picnic? Who's this little girl now?
And taking that with you as well. I was looking forward to the trial run of my experimental smoke grenade launcher. What's going on now?
Oh no!
Oh, do you want to play? You won't beat me. Juror.
Excuse me, but who are you?
Oh, good day to you. I'm well. Inventor, I suppose, of that machine.
The inventor?
Well, normal smoke grenades are so dull, don't you agree? White, and more white. if you have to be shrouded in smoke, it could at least be a pretty color. I thought so.
Sounds about white. Nice. Good job, Cody Cat. Do we have to be shrouded in smoke, though, at all?
I just took my eyes off it for a moment whilst I was changing onto a different omnibus, and she pinched it.
What's going on here, huh, guys? Is she actually a child that invents smoke grenades? Or is she just an adult that looks like a child?
Oh, I was out of Kleenexes and I was about to sneeze. Oh. Sorry, I had to run off. Okay.
Luckily, I fitted it with a telegraphic beacon.
What's it? What? I have no idea what this girl is talking about.
Anyway, you're coming with me now. Back to my laboratory.
Oh, boys, I'm just trying to do a little bit of sound adjustments over here. Give me just a second.
What for?
I don't remember what the voices are.
To apologize, of course, silly. To my technician.
What? You mean say sorry?
You were doing a kind of Irish-ish accent for the one on the left.
You may say sorry when you're done something wrong. Surely an adult has told you that before. An adult? I don't listen to no adult.
That's right, she eats them.
Come along now. Follow me. I have it your way.
There you go.
Oh, good. You see, I knew you'd want to do the right thing in the end.
I'm fairly sure that what she wants is to get shot by that massive gun of yours. Was to not get shot. Yeah.
We'll be leaving now. Bye-bye. I'm so sorry for all the fuss.
What the hell just happened?
All right, then. She was a lively one.
Well then. Well, do you think perhaps we got to be on our way now too?
Yes, you're right. But where to?
Oh!
We haven't had time to find a place to stay. No sooner had we arrived in London than we had to rush here. All our traveling cases are still with the bailiff.
I was originally planning to spend today in search of lodgings.
But at this late hour in the day, I'm afraid we may be out of luck.
Don't worry though, I have a plan. Do you now?
I'm sure you do. If you just... Oh my gosh. Okay, there we go. Hold on, I'm still just playing around the settings a little bit here. Let me know, of course, Dave, if anything sounds too off.
If the worst comes to worst, I've heard of a lovely park where we could spend the night. Oh dear.
Also, let me know if things sound better at all. Please tell me you're not thinking of McGilded Park.
I know it may be a little chilly at this time of year, but our youthfulness will see us through.
I'm not so sure about that. I think a midwinter London night will freeze a young person solid just as easily as an elderly one.
Oh dear, that doesn't sound agreeable.
Now I'm starting to regret turning Mr. McGilded down. That 1,000 guineas would have paid for a lovely warm room or mansion. That's what I'm saying! What are you... Run after the man! Jesus Christ! And so, the trial to determine my worthiness for the study tour was over by the end of our first day in London. However, as we were soon to learn, there were more terrifying times ahead. Just as the Reaper of the Bailey had warned, the case was far from over.
What's going on? Get the fire brigade! Water! Bring water!
Holy Jesus.
How did this happen? I don't know, sir. By the time I got here, it was already engulfed. No one was supposed to be allowed in here before we started investigating.
Oh my.
Oh, good God. There's someone in there.
This can't be.
Santa
Hey,
Claus.
I had a pretty good voice for him.
Vampire. Wonder what's in there.
Did we just watch someone die?
Santa Claus has such a shocked face.
Unless that was Mr. McGilded in there, then Mr. McGilded does not fuck around.
The Adventure of the Clouded Kokoro.
All right, here we go. Chapter 4, boys. Kokoro.
I begin to think, Wilson, said Sholmes,
Wilson.
turning his head
Sholmes.
languidly in my direction, that there is more to this case than that which we have observed. Indeed, that there may be another part to this story that we are yet to discover. His eyes wandered, following the steam rising from his cup of herbal tea, leading him to the distant memory of that snowy evening. To the young lady collapsed on the pavement along Briar Road, and to the knife in her back. Lit in the soft glow of gas lamps,
Okay, well, it doesn't look
a
like the
most
same type of knife.
extraordinary scene had been set. And under the cover of a light fog, the curtain had risen silently on the insoluble mystery of our invisible killer.
Okay. 19th of February, 9:47 a.m. British Supreme Court, Lord Chief Justice's office.
Did you sleep last night, Mr. Nodohoro?
No, not at all.
It was an enormous hotel, wasn't it? The rooms were so luxurious, I felt like we were staying in a palace. With all the gaslights twinkling, it was brighter than day, even in the middle of the night.
What about the enormous beds? After my time on the SS Buri, I wasn't going to waste a single inch of that space. I spent the entire night rolling from one side of the mattress to the other.
Oh yes, it really was the sort of night you can only dream of normally. Except, when I learned that we owed £3 for the rooms, that dream quickly turned into a nightmare.
Oops. Sorry about that. The building was so impressive and the entrance so inviting, I just wandered in without thinking.
In a lodging house in Japan, that sum of money would put a roof over your head for a whole year. I did try, but I'm afraid I couldn't help my tears when we were presented with the bill.
they really, I hate it when games and animes do this, where like they have the characters come like upon some huge sum of money, but then for some stupid reason, like it just, oh nope, it's gone. Haha. Hate that shit. I should have taken the money. I'm really am sorry about that.
Well, never mind. We must find some more affordable lodging straight away, though. If we're not careful, our tower stipend will be used up in 10 days or less.
Oh, London is a scary place. So at least they did have the money to cover it, just it was really expensive. Ah, fuck, how did this guy sound? I don't remember.
You made it Kurama 2.0. It had a very similar voice.
Good morning to you at this early hour.
How's that?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, well...
Good morning to you, Lord Chief Justice. We have come to report on the outcome of the trial at the Old Bailey yesterday.
Sasada-san is amazing. She doesn't bat an eyelid, even in the presence of the imposing Lord Strongheart.
Yes, I believe you had a very comprehensive initiation into British courtroom practices.
Oh, yes. It was very eye-opening. Thank you.
And in accordance with your instructions, Lord Strongheart, Mr. Naruhodo performed his duty to the end.
Yes, I've already been apprised of the events. You conducted a remarkable defense. You may consider the test passed.
Oh?
No longer are you a student from the Empire of Japan. You may henceforth claim to be a fully fledged lawyer. My country is delighted to welcome young talent from such a remote eastern land.
Thank you very much. So, I'm a lawyer now.
Now, in view of your new appointment, I have a fresh case in mind for you. I'd like you to take it on at once. I trust that won't be a problem.
Another case? Already?
Nothing trains a lawyer better than practical experience. I'm sure I don't sense dissatisfaction, do I?
Yeah. It's just that yesterday's trial ended unusually. I haven't quite come to terms with it.
What's to come to terms with? The man was cleared. What more were you hoping for?
We just saw this. We're not...
I'm the judge, and I'm giving you the verdict.
And I'm the defendant, and I'm not guilty. No. You miss flashback. Mashing the space bar. Okay. Yes. There we go. I just can't help but wondering if Mr. McGilded really was innocent.
Mr. Naruhodo.
It's just that I never managed to ascertain the truth. And then the trial ended.
Well, you needn't let it trouble you for a second longer.
Sorry?
What do you mean, Lord Strongheart?
Magnus McGilded passed away immediately following the trial.
No!
What? Mr. McGilded is dead? What's with the fucking doves? Which, by the way, doves are pigeons. You didn't know that.
I have 19 minutes and 41 seconds until my next engagement. Time enough to talk.
So that was Mr. McGilded in the in the carriage.
Yeah, let's find out what happened.
I don't understand. What happened? How can he be dead?
After the trial concluded yesterday, there was a great commotion in the Old Bailey. As you'll presumably recall, an omnibus had been wheeled into the courtroom.
Yes, of course. That was the scene of the crime which Mr. McGilded had been accused of.
Precisely. Well, while the bailiff's attention was diverted by some other matter, the omnibus went up in flames.
No.
How could such a thing have happened?
That is being investigated as we speak, but already the police have identified a corpse found inside the charred shell of the carriage as that of Mr. McGilded, or of McGilded.
That's awful.
The man must have slipped inside while the bailiff's attention was elsewhere.
That bailiff really needs to pay more attention.
And how could that have happened?
That is also being investigated as we speak.
Thinking back now, immediately after the trial, Mr. McGilded did mention going back into the courtroom to look at the omnibus.
Well, I must be making tracks now. I can't be standing around in this flashback all day. After all, you just saw this, you did. Why are you thinking back on it, you daft fool? That's exactly what he said then.
An inspection of the omnibus? Not to my knowledge. I don't believe Scotland Yard had any intention of re-examining the carriage.
But then who is Mr. McGilded talking about?
Never mind that now. The Yard is making a thorough investigation. This matter is no longer any concern of yours. Leave it to the police.
Poor Mr. McGilded.
So, how did you find your first taste of our country's Supreme Court?
Oh, well, I don't know. I mean, it was... wow.
Mr. Naruhodo means that the whole experience was steeped in the
Solemnity.
solemnity of Great Britain's long history. It's really a world apart from our own judicial system in Japan, which is only a few short decades old.
Wow, Sasato-san has such a way with words.
And you seem to have a way of failing to find the right one. Wait, what?
Did she just hear our internal monologue?
You read your mind.
Because the stuff in this, we already know from in the courtroom while we're like thinking and stuff that's our internal monologue.
The judicial system here is the most advanced in the world. Learn all you can.
Most advanced in the world, is it?
It was fortunate that your very first trial was a simple affair.
Simple? That was simple?
As I believe I mentioned yesterday morning, it was a trial you couldn't lose.
We almost did at one point.
I don't mean to be contrary, Lord Strongheart, but the case was anything but simple.
Circumstances of the case were so incriminating, I was stunned when I first heard them. In fact, I'm still finding it hard to believe that we managed to get a favorable verdict.
Wait, he said that it was a close
No, that's not
case
good.
to begin with.
I don't know, I can't get a good laugh on that. I'll come back to it
I
later.
feel like he's the one that was planting the other evidence.
Is something funny?
No, my apologies. However, the fact is that you did receive the not guilty verdict you set out to achieve. And that can only be attributed to exceptional talent. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, I don't know about that.
Well, never mind. You exceeded my expectations, I freely admit. That much at least is an undeniable truth.
It's true, though. He is acting very suspicious.
Which is precisely why I've prepared the new case for you that I mentioned before.
What's going on? What was he going to say before?
Could you perhaps give us some more details about the new case you mentioned?
Don't tell me. It's a murder and the trial starts in 10 minutes.
Don't worry, it's nothing so alarming or quite as so urgent as your last assignment. In fact, this case is completely different.
Oh, I see. Did he just read my mind? See, there you go again. It's internal monologue. Huh? I told you.
That is to say, no one has died as yet. And the trial will not be today. There is plenty of time to research this case thoroughly.
Oh, thank goodness.
23 hours, 43 minutes, and 19 seconds to be precise.
So the trial's tomorrow then.
Is everything all right?
You know what? Something's not all right on my own thing. I gotta mess with the little setting I see over here. I see something's a little off. Okay. Oh, yes, I'm just a little confused, that's all. Yesterday's trial was, well, left me wondering if I'm really cut out for being a lawyer.
Oh, Mr. Naruhodo.
I don't know if I could face standing in that courtroom again after Mr. McGilded's trial.
Ah, yes, I nearly forgot. There is one similarity with yesterday's case. Once again, there is currently no one to advocate for the defense.
Oh.
If the situation remains unchanged, the trial will start tomorrow with the defendant unrepresented. And if that happens, I need not remind you of the inevitable outcome.
Damn, do they really not provide a defense?
The most terrible end awaits the defendant again?
Yes, that's right.
Ugh, here we go again. Except, this isn't a murder trial, so they shouldn't be hanging the person, right?
Your time is up. You will have to excuse me. I would advise you to begin making preparations for tomorrow's trial. After all, the clock is ever ticking. There is now but 23 hours, 26 minutes, and 39 seconds until the court sits.
Last time he mentioned 23 hours, he said there was plenty of time.
And one more thing, Mr. Naruhodo. There is something I should like to ask you.
God, his eyes are so fucking intense. Oh, what's that?
Yesterday, you remarked upon something. That you intend to see through the will of your late compatriot, Mr. Asogi. I would be interested to hear what exactly you mean by that. Inside 34 seconds.
Oh, well, Cosmo always used to say, you see, that he wanted to learn how the greatest justice system in the world works so he could change ours in Japan. Now that he's gone, I'd like to work towards that myself, and there's another thing.
Another thing? Continue.
On the way here, on the steamship, he said something to me.
Something very important I have to do. Something very important? And what exactly would that be?
He never had a chance to tell me. I suppose he would have done if he'd ever made it to...
You're out of time. Well, thank you for an enlightening discussion.
Mr. Naruhodo, what's all this about? Mr. Asogi never once mentioned anything of the sort to me.
I urge you both to focus your attentions on the matter at hand. I've taken the liberty of summoning the police inspector in charge of the case.
He's got a little cone of chips over there I can see.
He'll be able to appraise you of the details.
How long has he been there?
So, I wish you the best of luck and bid you farewell.
I need. There's something very important that I have to do. Kazuma-sama, what did you mean?
I wish I knew, but honestly, he never told me. Oh, by the way, earlier when I was adjusting something on the visuals, it's because I noticed that the color balance was like kind of changing and flashing every so often, I think with the glare of my 5 head. So I went ahead and made an alteration there. Now it's not changing in and out. Oh my god. Jesus Christ, my nose looks huge then. Anyway, I've noticed now it's not flashing and stuff. So if you saw me like looking over there a lot, that's what I was looking to see if it was changing the white balance. Anyway, we had better talk to the detective, don't you think? Rick is in the kitchen. Yes, you're right. Oh god, we just saw this guy in a fucking cutscene. How did he sound? I hope I'm just imagining it, but I wouldn't say he looks pleased to see us at all. Oh, we can look around the room. Is this some kind of clock? Actually, I think we might be inside some sort of giant clock. Are those gears? But those gears are larger than anything you'd find on a steam locomotive even. It's eerie. Do you think clocks are some sort of hobby of his? The Lord Chief Justice, I mean.
Well, boys do enjoy fiddling around with machines, don't they?
I'm not sure you could fiddle with cogs that size, and I'm certain you couldn't call him a boy. Still, it's amazing how little noise the cogs make, considering how large they are. There's actually something quite soothing about their precise rhythm. Yeah, no, like listening to this here? I would totally work in an environment like this. This is a cool ass office. It's got fucking suits of armor in it, hell yeah. Look at these menacing metal giants facing each other across the room.
I believe they're suits of armor.
Oh, right. I thought maybe they were like the lion dogs we have in Japan guarding shrine gates.
No, not at all. In fact, in Europe, suits of armor like these are always possessed by evil spirits, you know? Yeah, like in Dungeons and Dragons. And they roam around in the middle of the night.
Yeah, you guys did fight Strahd's armor. His magically animated armor.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking
walking
about.
along the parapets of the castle by itself.
And in Lightfall, Johto got killed by one of...
Yep, animated armor. Really? Is there nothing you don't know, Miss Sasato?
This book tells me everything I need to know about everything. But how? If you're ever unsure, just ask.
He does have chips in a newsie, you're right, Cody Cat.
I want a chips in a newsie.
Where did she get that incredible tome? Yeah, that little book's got everything in it.
Like the bag of holding, but the bag of knowledge.
Just look at all the naughty... Just look at all the naughty books packed together on these shelves. They go from floor to ceiling.
And they're all books that you couldn't hope to come by in Japan. It's like a dream.
Yes, a very bad dream. What? Doesn't like libraries.
They're not all about British law either. There are books about the judicial system of other Western nations. France, Germany, Spain, Holland.
Holland's not a nation. It's a region in the Netherlands. What about Russia?
Why did you ask?
I was wondering about asking the Lord Chief Justice how you say wardrobe in Russian. What do you think? I think perhaps it's a thought best abandoned. This must be the Lord Chief Justice's desk. I believe it's made of marble. Looks more like an over-the-top tombstone that's toppled over to me. I think that's your fanciful imagination at work again, Mr. Naruhodo. Feels like everything that's normally made of wood and paper at home is made of bricks and stone here.
I know. That's why this feels so overbearing, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm digging this clock, though. Alright, I think we gotta talk to him now. Yeah. I've put it off long enough. Oh, it's not just fish. It's not just chips. There's a fish there, too.
Oh man, I remember having that in London where it's like the newspaper and the fries.
Look
and
at
the
this
fish and
guy's... The distance between this guy's mouth and his chin is incredible. What the fuck?
I so want fish and chips now.
Could we trouble you?
What do you think?
Ah! Lovely weather, isn't it?
What's the weather got to do with anything?
Ah!
Listen to me, you young Japanese upstart. Some frippery about the weather doesn't get every English gent eaten out of your hand, you know?
But Sasato-san told me it was foolproof.
Oh man.
Guys, I think this guy might be my spirit animal.
I want fish and chips.
I'm a busy man, a very busy man. There's a crime scene to investigate, but I'm here having to give the likes of you a talking to.
Oh, I'm ever so sorry.
Can you imagine what the other officers there will be saying, Haven't seen Gregson anywhere, have you? No, he's too busy with the bigwigs these days. And all because some bumpkin who's here on a jaunt from the country I've never even heard of.
I did not see his hairline.
Hear that ripping sound? That's my reputation at the yard going to tatters.
There's no need to rip us apart as well.
I don't believe we've been introduced. This is Mr. Yonosuke Naruhodo, a defense lawyer.
Alright.
It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant, Sue.
Alright.
Lovely weather we're having today, isn't it?
No, I think that's his this little detective notebook in his cap.
It's unseasonably fine, I grant you. London winters don't see a lot of sunshine.
Unbelievable. How did she pull that off?
So, Lord Strongheart has asked me to fill you in on the case. The name's Tobias Gregson. Inspector Gregson to you. I'm from Scotland Yard.
Gregson? Inspector Gregson?
What's the matter with Sasato-san? Does this detective's name mean something to her?
Inspector, are you perhaps the Inspector Gregson? Hi, Leviathan.
What's up, Leviathan? This guy's fucking chips, man.
Fucking fish and chip.
You're acting like you know this man, Miss Sasato, but he's a London detective.
Oh, I do know him. Very well, in fact.
Very well.
Yes, he features prominently in the adventures of Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, and that publication. What's it called again? Rants Magazine?
That's right. Inspector Gregson and Mr. Shrooms enjoy a wonderful, friendly rivalry.
Really? You rival the great Mr. Sholmes? That's incredible.
Oh, well, I don't know about that. Mr. Sholmes isn't a professional like myself, of course, but he does come up with the goods from time to time.
Mr. Shrooms is equally complimentary about you, Inspector, isn't he? You've earned his highest praise. Gregson is the pick of a bad lot of all the Scotland Yarders. Those were his own words.
What you eating, Leviathan? That's his highest praise? No, I can believe that, since we've met Sholmes.
Well, Mr. Sholmes isn't particularly known for giving compliments, is he?
Exactly.
That he is not. And thanks to that magazine, my name's known all over London town now.
That's great, isn't it?
I have to admit that to start with, I was a little, well, flattered by all the attention. Everyone wanted to shake my hand, and a reputation at the yard went through the roof.
Well, that's wonderful.
No, it is not. There's nothing more sinister than the man on the street. People are always looking at me now. They're whispering rumors about me under their breath, I'm sure.
Rumors?
Are you quite sure?
Dude, 1.0 was good. Oops, sorry. Crap, what the heck?
Gosh, do you really think people are saying such mean-spirited things about you?
Hold on, let me check the history here real quick. Oh, there you go.
He's changed since he started appearing in the stories. The fame's gone to his head, stuff like that.
Okay, and then you say that.
Like I said, they whisper, so I can't catch exactly what they're saying, but I know what folk are like. I'm sure that's what they're saying. As sure as eggs as eggs.
Oh. That sounds delicious, Leviathan.
I get the feeling this detective could be very hard work.
Oh dear, perhaps the sudden rise to fame does change people.
So, about the case that the Lord Chief Justice mentioned before.
Nothing to tell, really. As far as we're concerned at the yard, it couldn't be simpler.
Oh dear, that probably means that as far as we're concerned as lawyers, it couldn't be more complicated.
I wish you were wrong about that, but I have a nasty feeling you're right.
A young woman was walking along the pavement on Briar Road when she was stabbed from behind. Fortunately, it wasn't fatal, but she's still laid up in the hospital, unconscious.
Well, that's why I said no one's been killed yet.
That's despicable. What sort of coward would attack a poor woman from behind?
I suppose you would have finished whoever it was off with Sasato takedown, would you? With a Sasato takedown.
This is neither here nor there, Mr. Naruhodo. Want to answer Leviathan?
Yes. We got him off on not guilty, even though it looked like it was very obvious he was planting evidence to make himself look not guilty. But he got off because there just wasn't enough conclusive evidence and stuff. And then after the case was done, somebody locked him in the carriage and burnt it. And Scotland Yard supposedly confirmed the body was Mr. McGilded's. Everyone was looking on in horror as he was beating on the door and trying to break the window and stuff. It's pretty gruesome. Although we didn't exactly see who it was inside during that. So we'll see. Oh, also, we refused the 1,000 guineas he was going to pay us because we're fucking idiots. And no, I didn't have a choice in it. That is neither here nor there. Oh, sorry, it's you. Oh, okay. You already said that's fine. Brace yourself, Ryunosuke. You've angered her now.
Anyway, after something of a whirlwind investigation, the criminal was arrested. He barely had time for a cup of tea after the incident took place, to be honest.
Oh, you know what? When he's eating, I should make it sound like he's got a mouthful. So there must have been something. So there must have been something left at the scene that led you directly to the culprit.
Or perhaps a reliable witness who recognized the person in question.
Let me stop you right there. You're wasting your time on this one.
Sorry?
There's nothing you can do. There's no way to help the bloke now.
Well, why ever not?
Simple. The prosecutor that's been assigned to the trial tomorrow is Lord Barak von Zeeks.
We beat him yesterday.
No. Sounds like you've heard of him then.
Oh yes, we are very familiar with Lord Van Zeek. Believed to be the harbinger of death itself.
The Reaper of the Bailey. Lord Barak von Zeeks, who we faced in court only yesterday.
Mr. McGilded told us about him before the trial, didn't he?
When Van Zeek stands for the prosecution, they call the accused his sacrificial lambs. I'll do this flashback because it's been a while. It didn't just happen. And in every single trial in which he's been the prosecutor, the accused has been damned. The Reaper of the Bailey nickname. I suppose he's earned that because every defendant he advocates against is found guilty, is that it?
Well, if that's the case, we should inform you, Inspector, that in yesterday's trial against Lord Van Zeek, Mr. Naruhodo secured a verdict of not guilty.
Huh. And what of it?
Oh, well, I think that means that even against the Reaper of the Bailey, it's not impossible to save the defendant.
No, you really don't have a clue, do you?
What do you mean?
What happened to that bloke in the end, eh? He's dead. Ah. Magnus McGilded became a cropper in that omnibus when it went up in flames. So you can't rightly say you saved the defendant, can you?
Sorry guys, this guy's voice is going to be all over the place until I find something that really feels like it fits. What are you saying?
Look, if Van Zeeks could get the dirt to stick on everyone, he'd be a miracle worker. But that's not how it goes. He doesn't work miracles. He works magic. Black magic. I'd have a good long think about that if I were you.
Are we really supposed to believe that? This guy, man. I know, he's making me so hungry.
I want fish and chips.
Right, well, I filled you in as requested, and I'm very nearly out of chips. So I'll be heading back to the crime scene now. We're still carrying out...
You're the version of your dad.
I have no idea how I would even go about doing that. How would that even sound like?
Well, how does your dad sound like? And be British.
Don't know how my dad sounds like. Like, now that I'm thinking about it, what the fuck? God, that's weird. Fuck. How the hell does my... Yeah, start with a finger mustache. But no, Shini, okay, babe, you know how my dad sounds. How's my dad sound? You give me my best dad.
Like the white version of my father?
No. I also wouldn't know how to do that either.
So I'll be heading back to the crime scene now. We're still carrying out a few investigations there.
This is you. You're up. She's dying on popcorn. She's been eating popcorn, by the way.
It was Briar Road, you said, didn't you? Where the incident took place?
That's correct, Mom. And if you ever head over to the holding cells, you can meet me in the criminal. You can meet the criminal himself.
You've branded him a criminal already?
He's as good as shaking like a leaf in his cell. He is. It'll give you a chuckle if nothing else. He's inmate 53. Speak to the jailer, and he'll show you the way.
Inmate 53. Thank you. Yeah, I got no idea how to do a British version of my. I can't even think about how to replicate my own dad's voice. So there's no helping anyone against the Reaper of the Bailey, they say.
Is something troubling you, Mr. Naruhodo?
Although I think I kind of like where I went with the voice there at the very end anyway, so I think I'll probably try to stick with that.
Tell the truth. When I recall the trial yesterday, I can't stop myself from shaking. The idea of facing the Reaper in court again is... Well, if you think it's too much for you, there's no shame in turning the case down. That takes courage, too.
But if the man they've arrested is innocent, you could well imagine he would be shaking like a leaf in his cell. And I, for one, wouldn't find the sight of that funny.
So...
If I'm honest, I'm still reeling from the shock of yesterday's events myself. And I'm not really sure if I'll be able to help this man, whoever he is. But I'd like to try. So I think I'm going to make some inquiries. Will you help?
Did you really think you had to ask? After all, I am your judicial assistant.
Judicial.
Every time I read it,
There has been the word judical sometimes, but this is judicial. It has that second I in it.
Oh, yeah, that's true. After all, I am your judicial assistant.
Thank you. So then, shall we?
Yes! Let's go!
All right.
I'm not in camera, because I do a lot of hand movements when I'm doing her voice.
Okay, no, her father was a medical professor, I think, was the thing. So, Lord Chief Justice... Okay, so, should we go see the person? You know, let's go see the person first, then the scene of crime. I think it's important we go see the person and let them know that they're being represented. Very first thing. 19th of February, local prison, cell 9. So these are British prison cells.
Oh, they're ghastly. It feels just like a dungeon.
Yes, and having experienced it in Japan myself, I can assure you that our wooden cells feel a lot cozier than these cold stone walls.
Oh, don't, Mr. Naruhodo. You're making it seem worse. Oh, she's gonna cry.
Apparently, our client is in this cell here. But it's so dark at the back there, I can't make him out. I wonder what he's like.
Inmate 53, your legal representative is here to see you. Stop hiding in the back of the cell and show your face at once.
I don't know. I'm going to use the default voice I use when I don't know who's talking.
Am I a cat, as yet with no name? Call me by a number. It's utterly unbelievable, unjustly unreasonable. I refuse to answer.
Don't ask me what that voice is.
Mr. Naruhodo, what? What do you think is going on here?
I have no idea, but I wasn't just hearing things, was I? That tirade of complaints was in Japanese. Oh, what? Who? Wait.
Oh, no.
Boys, what is up with his fucking eyebrow? Right here, what the fuck is this? Well, apparently it's Japanese Edgar Allan Poe. With weird fucking pupils. How the hell does Edgar Allan Poe sound? How does Japanese Edgar Allan Poe sound? Shh. Shh. Quiet.
He actually reminds me of Johnny Depp.
They're all around, hiding. I know they are. They're watching, listening. Even now, I can sense it.
Okay.
Right. So, could I ask you? You've come. Stop naming fucking people who I don't know how they sound. He doesn't look suave though.
Johnny Depp. You know Johnny Depp. No, in one of the movies, his hair was exactly like that with the mustache.
Well, okay, yeah, I can get you. I got you, but... There you are. You've come to curse me, haven't you? Don't try to hide it. You're a ghost. A ghost?
We mean you no harm, prisoner-san. Are you? Japanese, by any chance?
This is... beyond my wildest dreams!
Oh, what is going on?
I don't know, boys. I don't know. Forgive me for that outburst before. I'm so sorry. Oh, it's fine. We were just a little surprised, that's all. Imagine it! I've been 12 long months since I've left hometown, and here I am in a frightful fix in a foreign land. So hearing the sweet, sentimental tones of a compatriot's voice here in this damp, dark hellhole was a most monumentally moving moment. He's very intense. Who could have guessed that this new client Lord Strongheart assigned to us would turn out to be a fellow Japanese? And no, I'm not going to be doing a Japanese accent. Sorry. Not. It's not going to be happening here, folks. What compassion my fellow countrymen show to dispatch a first-class lawyer all the way from Japan to defend a mere foreign student. Noble, nurturing, never-failing Nippon. How do you think I'm doing with this voice, though? I'm feeling it myself, but then again, I'm not doing listening to it. A first-class lawyer? Oh dear, I think there's been something of a misunderstanding here.
I wonder, would you be so kind as to tell us what's happened?
Things were getting a little heated in here. I had to get the remainder of the milkshake and turn down the temperature a bit.
Well,
It's this
you've been
man's
detained as a
mustache
suspect, for example.
making me hot under the Hawaiian shirt. Yes, yes, I can. I will. Shan't stay sullen and silent.
I'm not quite sure I understand what you mean. But he seems happy.
Yes, he does. I just hope he actually has a good reason to be. Thank you for your cooperation. I am a lawyer, as you said. My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
And I am Naruhodo-san, judicial assistant, Sato Mikotoba.
Daniel's barking a lot, boys. I'm sorry for that. I am a visiting student sent here by our government. Notoriously named Natsume. Soseki Natsume. Soseki Natsume. Soseki Natsume-san. What an unusual name. And call me Soseki, please. I'm a poet, you see, a writer of haiku. He is emo Japanese and compo. It's something of a nom de plume. A nom de plume? You mean an alias?
That's right, Naruhodo-san.
No! Don't be so prosaic. It's much more refined than that. And haiku, that really reminds me of home. Okay, just a moment. Hopefully that helped, but you know, dogs.
Did I hear you say that you were a visiting student and over here by the government?
Yes, that's right. A year ago I was told to go and study English. First I had to suffer that misery, and now this! It's beyond the pale! Except for that misery, did you not want to study here? No! I mean, I've had an interest in Great Britain for some years, of course. Oh? But just because the government tells you to do something, does it mean you can do it? No. What do you mean?
What do you mean?
I mean that you should probably look at the nameplates before you read, young man. And if they told me to study English literature, that I could have understood. That's my field. But no, they told me to study the English language. Utterly, unbelievably, unjustly unreasonable. I see. Only the other day, I was told to send a report about my first year here. I tendered a blank piece of paper. Wise words of whitewashi!
You must be a man of great standing.
I do like his alliteration. Oh yes, so I'm often told. And often like to be told, it seems. Well, I'm happy we've at least made his day.
Could you perhaps tell us exactly why you've been arrested, Soseki-san?
I didn't do it. I didn't commit that atrocious murder.
Murder?
Oh, no. It's all right. The woman didn't actually die, did she? But she was stabbed with a knife right before my eyes! Before your eyes? You mean you saw the attacker? I didn't see anyone. What? If I'd seen the person who did it, you'd think I'd be locked up in here?
Oh dear. It seems this case is becoming rather complicated.
It sounds like the Ripper might be coming into play. Why me? Why me? Why did all that silly women have to be stabbed in front of me? It's the curse of London. It's incredibly, inexcusably, irritatingly inconvenient. Could have gone in. So Soseki-san was there at the scene, but he didn't see the attacker.
vital that we find out more about the case.
It was an accursed evening, just after the snow had started to clear and heavy with fog. I'd been to the bookshop to buy some books, and I was on my way back to my accursed lodgings. Sure the bookshop wasn't accursed too? As I was walking along the accursed pavement, I could make out the sole silhouette of another ahead of me. A woman wearing a green overcoat, she was, and just as I went to overtake her... That is not who we saw in the opening, video thing. This is fucking Humpty Dumpty. someone stabbed Twiddledee or Twiddledum. This is very much not what we were sold. Also, apparently, this brown book over here, this looks like, look at this writing. This looks like it comes from Legend of Zelda. She suddenly let out a little scream and collapsed onto the cold, hard slabs of stone at my feet.
How terrible.
I called out to the woman, but she didn't move. It was like a ghostly, ghoulish, grim graveyard. Sorry for the mic hit. Slight exaggeration there, perhaps. I was terrified. I had to get away from there. So I ran as fast as my legs would carry me back to my accursed lodgings. That's not good. They'll say it was shameful, I know, to run away like that.
Tell me, Sasaki-san, was the victim an acquaintance of yours?
Don't be ridiculous! Do you think I know any of these fair-haired English, and a young woman at that? I'm different, shy, timid, unsure, and I can't talk to people. I like this guy. This is my kind of man. I see. A young woman, unknown to Sasaki-san, and at the time it happened, who else did you see nearby? Did anybody pass you? Regrettably, apart from myself and the woman, I didn't see a soul. No one? Oh, great. So then who saw him run away?
So the victim was unknown to you, and there was nobody else on the street at the time. That creates something of a conundrum, doesn't it?
What conundrum? What do you mean, Sasato-san? What's the conundrum? I think...
Well, if what Sasaki-san has just told us is true, there's something I can't explain.
I think she's going to bring up what I just said, which is, if there was no one around, how did they know that he ran from the scene?
It says that he didn't know the victim, and that there was no one else at the scene. Then he apparently fled without having been seen.
I did! But if that's the case, surely this man has to be the culprit. Ah! You! What did you just say? Nothing. I literally didn't say anything. That was internal monologue.
Remember, he's kind of schizophrenic, obviously. He probably
Oops.
thinks he
Perhaps
can
I
hear you
thought
thinking.
that a little loudly. Actually, oh, there you go.
Actually, that's not what was troubling me. What I was thinking was, how did Soseki-san actually come to be arrested?
Sorry?
He didn't touch the victim, and there was nobody at the scene to see him. So how did the police ever discover that he was there in the first place?
Oh yes, she's right. It was him. That accursed great detective! He led the police to me! Of all the bad luck. Accursed great detective? Could it be? I shall never forget that man's name as long as I live. With his haughty laugh and his self-proclaimed greatness. Brash, big-headed, busybody, begone! May you be cursed until the end of your days, Herlock Sholmes! I knew it. To be honest, I'm surprised he didn't make an appearance in the last
Mr.
chapter.
Sholmes?
Well, I didn't expect to hear that name from this man's lips, that's for sure. It was the morning after the nightmare had unfolded on the pavement before me. I was gnawing on a silver sliver of hard cheese when some men suddenly burst in through the door. They started shouting at me, "This is the police! Put the weapon down!" Yes, it was a thin sliver, and yes, it was hard, but I wasn't eating a weapon! Disgusting dietary discrimination! Devils! You clearly had a trying morning yesterday. And there he was, in the middle of all the policemen, grinning like a Cheshire cat. That Herlock Sholmes! It's actually just Herlock Sholmes. He's English. I've since found out that he's a famous name in detection here in London.
Yes, the great detective is really very well known.
And his overly sharp mind managed to deduce my whereabouts, apparently. He thinks I'm the knife-wielding madman. Me? This weak, stooped kitten of a man? I wonder what great deduction process led him to this conclusion this time. Also, he just said earlier he wasn't a cat. Push next to doubt on this guy. I think he might actually be a cat.
Do you mean to say that Mr. Sholmes' deduction was the only reason the police arrested you? That would be really most unreasonable.
Well, the thing is, I was thrown into a panic when they barged their way in.
Of course you were. That's only natural.
I was terrified and trembling, and they kept throwing questions after questions at me in impossible English. Fiendish foreign film flammery. Full flim flammery, oh, sorry. Well, we are in England. You can't really blame them for questioning you in English. Also, you're here to study English. Good point, good point. But my mind went blank. I knew I had to answer, but I didn't know what to say. So I just kept repeating things like, yes, I do, and I'm fine. The next thing I knew, I was in manacles, and before I knew it, I was thrown in here.
Oh dear, I'm afraid that's hardly surprising.
I'm fine? He's not fine now. Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. Oh, you can just call me Naruhodo. And when we're speaking English, a simple Mr. is more than enough. Oh, yes, all right, yes, they've really got to me. This country is poisoning my mind. But please, I beg you to defend me in court tomorrow. You can tell them what really happened. You'll do it, won't you? Well, Why is it so hard to say yes to me? Well, the thing is, I'm just a student like yourself, on a study tour. A student? I have defended a case in the Old Bailey. Only one, though. But at this moment in time, I really don't know what I'm supposed to believe in. I'm confused about what justice in this country even means.
Naruhodo-san.
I'm not even the foreign student who is supposed to be here. I'm a sort of locum lawyer, I suppose. Oh, boys, hold up. We got a tasty new word here for me. Hold up. So bright. We gotta learn together, boys. Locum. British. A person who stands in temporarily for someone else of the same profession, especially a cleric or a doctor.
Locum.
Yeah,
Locum.
There you have it, boys. I'm just gonna minimize that. Locum. But that armband, that's the mark of a defense lawyer from a great empire. It's a keepsake from the man who should have been here. He was my best friend. A keepsake? I know exactly what they're saying about me.
Oh, who do you mean?
The lawyers, all the British defense lawyers, they won't defend me.
Goodness, why? Why do you say that?
For the same reason as you noted before, when it happened. There was only the victim and myself around, and I ran away from the scene of the crime. I'm not a fool. I know it looks as though I must be the culprit. It must be very hard for you, Saseki-san. And anyway, I'm a student from overseas. I'm just a foreign nobody to them, someone not to be trusted. I heard them openly laughing about me before. In my earshot, without any compunction at all. Any trial for this man would be a waste of time, they said, and of course the foreigner did it. They even had the gall to say, the man doesn't understand half of what's being said anyway. That's awful. You know, I would love it if this guy ends up being like, because I don't know, I'm assuming that they're supposed to be like speaking Japanese right now. But I would love it if this ends up being like a Peggy Hill situation in King of the Hill when Peggy was on trial in Mexico and they actually got her off because they're able to convince the judge that Peggy cannot understand or speak Spanish at all. Again, if this guy is like that, where he's been here for like 10 years studying English and he can't understand it, that'd be so funny. They're wrong. I've studied more English than half the policemen out there on the streets. I've traveled halfway around the world to learn about these people's country and its great history. But no one here wants to listen to a man with a strange accent. They all hate me. So, at the very least, I'd like to entrust my fate to someone who can listen to me in my native tongue. You could do it, couldn't you? When I look into your eyes, I can see it. I can see what you've been through. Saseki-san, it's just that. Give me a little time, please. I'll do what I can for the time being. What do you mean?
We shall investigate the case as thoroughly as possible. If we can find some clues, it will give us a much better chance, I'm sure.
Oh yes, thank you. I'll be here, all alone, waiting for you, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire!
We should be going then, Naruhodo-san. We have a case to prepare for.
And we also have a stream to be ending. Now's a great time. We're about to move on to the crime scene, which we will investigate tomorrow. Oh, and to answer the question posed by the name of this stream, no, juror number 3 was not the murderer, at least as far as we know.
did solve the case.
No,
Of
we
who
didn't.
killed Mr. Mason, right? No, we did
We
not.
did not solve the case. We did not solve the McMurder of Mick Mason by the accused McGilded. We did not solve that case.
Either way.
But you know what? Maybe juror number 3 did kill him, and then juror number 3 also killed Mr. McGilded in the carriage.
I'm thinking Mr. McGilded got killed by Lord Van Zee.
No, that'd be way too obvious. That's right! Cody Cat, you freaking genius. Mr. McGilded did finally become a McGriddle, which is what
Yeah.
Reika kept
Yeah.
calling him.
Did I really keep calling him?
Yes! You didn't. We talked about it. You kept calling him Mr. McGriddle. Hey, as long as you weren't calling him Mr. McNugget, I guess. All right, boys. Well, this is where we're going to be ending the stream for tonight. Leviathan, thanks for showing up. Yeah, that's right. We did. Cody Cat does have you in a clip calling him Mr. McGriddle. That totally happened. Cody Cat, thanks for being here. Leviathan, thanks for showing up. Rika, as always, thanks for being here, my lovely wife, and helping out with the stream, and for doing voices for me here. For everybody else, no matter who you are, or where you are, or whenever the hell you're watching this, thanks for watching, guys. If you're new here and you haven't yet already, go ahead and drop me a follow. I'd really appreciate it. Hit like buttons, all that stuff, tickle the bells. Man, I really need a haircut. And what I'm trying to say is, stay safe out there. I love you. What? Oh, I don't think your mic is on. I'm not hearing you in here. Maybe something happened. All right, well, Rico's asking if I'm going to be streaming tomorrow, which I think I might. I am going to be streaming. You can check it out on the schedule. I am for sure going to be streaming on Thursday. That's going to be Killing It with Keisho. I'm going to be running around Demon Souls Remake on the PS5 with Keisho. So look out for that. No sorcery this time. I'm going Akure. I'm going to have some metal on my body. I'm going to have a big old two-handed sword in one hand if they'll let me. All right, you got a date on Thursday. All right. Well, I will be, again, I'll probably be streaming tomorrow as long as I'm feeling okay then. Because as long as I'm not too tired. I do go into the office tomorrow. It's an early day for me.
Good luck on the date. Let us know if you need a car ride.
What?
From,
No, we're not getting a car ride. You kidding? Day doesn't live anywhere near us. Anyway, goodbye, guys. Talked way too long. These outros are never ending.